A popular senator is embarking on another presidential campaign. Find out how much he has already raised in funding.
The Washington Post is facing a lawsuit. You won't believe who they are being sued by.
With a well-known homeless shelter closing, find out what downtown spot is opening its doors.
A local company is getting the largest fine in state history for trafficking ivory. We'll have all the details. Newscene starts right now.
Welcome to this week's episode of Newscene. I'm Marissa Gonzalez.
And I'm Kenyatta Rigmaiden.
Bernie Sanders has been making headlines this week after announcing his presidential run. Edgar has more on the story in our lead report.
Thank you. And the news is the burn is back. Earlier this week, the Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders has announced his candidacy for President of the United States. Within 24 hours, his campaign has raised almost $6 million from over 200,000 people from across the nation. Much of that money came from those who have pledged to keep donating to his campaign each month. With the financial side of his campaign secured, Sanders' launch makes him one of the top contenders for the Democratic primary of the 2020 presidential race. Sanders previously ran for president in 2016 and came close to securing the nomination over Hillary Clinton. In San Diego alone, he won 48% of the primary vote. However, the 2020 election is a different playing field. Many of his opponents for the Democratic nomination have adopted his popular platform from the 2016 campaign. High-profile candidates such as Senators Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, and others are running with similar lefties messages of free health care, a Green New Deal, $15 minimum wage, and higher taxes on the wealthy. That means his platform no longer stands out the way it did against Clinton. Additionally, unlike his political opponents, Sanders is not even officially registered as a Democrat. To win in Vermont, he ran as an independent and is a Democratic socialist. Now he's using the Democratic Party to gain a greater chance for the presidency. The question will be if the Democratic base wants to vote for someone with a history like that, given all the other options. One major political opponent has, however, wished Sanders well, or somewhat did. President Donald Trump first responded to the news of Sanders running on Twitter, calling him Crazy Bernie and wishing him well. Later at a press conference, Trump followed up the tweet with the following statement.
But I wish Bernie well. It'll be interesting to see how he does. I think what happened to Bernie maybe was not so nice. I think he was taken advantage of. He ran great 4 years ago, and he was not treated with respect by Clinton. And that was too bad. I thought what happened to Bernie Sanders 4 years ago was quite sad as it pertains to our country. So we'll see how he does.
Sanders' words on Trump were even more belligerent.
A pathological liar every day. He is telling one lie or another. And it gives me no pleasure to say that. But I also think he is a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, a xenophobe, somebody who is gaining cheap political points by trying to pick on minorities, often undocumented immigrants.
How the remarks play out will be determined over the coming months of the campaign trail. That's all for this week's Political Report. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Edgar. Former FBI acting director Andrew McCabe has released a new book. In it, he details his tumultuous time working under the Trump administration. In an interview with CNN's Anderson Cooper, McCabe says Donald Trump is a possible Russian asset. The book is currently #1 on the Amazon bestseller list.
The Covington Catholic High School student who was caught in the middle of a controversial video that went viral is suing the Washington Post. Our very own Jeff Villegas has more.
Attorneys for Nicholas Sandman are suing the Washington Post. Nick Sandman is the Kentucky high school student who is at the center of a controversial viral video. This video shows a confrontation between Sandman and a Native American elder in front of the Lincoln Memorial last month. His attorneys have filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit against the Washington Post. According to a press release from Sandman's law firm, The suit alleges that the Washington Post, quote, ignored basic journalistic standards and waged malicious attacks on the students in the video by falsely accusing them of instigating a tense standoff, end quote. Turns out the 3-minute clip of the video that went viral didn't show the whole story. The nearly 20-minute video shows an activist group of black Hebrew Israelites approaching the students while they waited for their buses. The group can be heard screaming racial and homophobic slurs.
Bunch of incest babies, a bunch of child molesting.
Then the video shows Nathan Phillips, who is a Native American activist, walk into the middle of the crowd banging his drum.
I wanted the situation to die down, and I just wish she would have walked away, but I knew as long as I kept my composure and didn't do anything that he might perceive as aggressive or elevation of the conflict, that it would hopefully die.
More than 50 media organizations, celebrities, and politicians that took to social media prematurely condemning the students were sent letters from the law firm. I'm Jeffrey Villegas, Newscene.
2 of the lawyers have since confirmed that they intend to sue more media outlets as well as up to 12 celebrities who took to social media slandering the students, calling for names and addresses of the students and their families.
The Trump administration wants nearly $3.5 billion of federal grant money given to California if returned. The money was for the high-speed rail project, which would have connected San Francisco to Los Angeles. The troubled project was recently scaled back by Governor Gavin Newsom. California, though, is under no legal obligation to return the money.
Military forces could soon be expanding to space. President Donald Trump signed an order to begin the Creative Space Force. He is proposing it as the 6th branch of the U.S. military. President Trump spoke about the aim of the Space Force.
We're investing in new space capabilities to project military power and safeguard our nation's interests, especially when it comes to safety and defense.
Congress would still have to give approval for the branch to become a reality. Pentagon and Congress say instead of it being a separate branch, it'd be overseen by the Air Force.
Well, meantime, if you still need to do your taxes, you could find help right here on campus. More coming up.
One of the biggest names in baseball is coming right here to San Diego. Find out about his record-breaking contract in sports.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
A UC Santa Cruz student is facing federal charges for selling drugs through a phone app. 18-year-old student Colin Howard created an application as a game available on the Apple Store and posted flyers all over campus advertising it. Through the app, Howard offered illegal drugs like cocaine and meth. After recognizing Howard from his mugshot, the police reached him by the easiest way possible, asking him for drugs to buy. Howard is charged with 4 counts of distribution and possession with intent to distribute cocaine and methamphetamine.
A La Jolla art gallery owner and sales associate have been convicted of ivory trafficking. Carlton Gallery owner Victor Cohen and his employee Sheldon Cooper Smith will together pay $210,000 for more than 300 ivory items illegally sold in the gallery. According to the city attorney Mara Elliott, the gallery was being investigated as far back as May of 2017. Elliott's office said the fines are the largest for ivory trafficking in state history.
Staying at the Father Joe's Village's tent shelter will soon be getting a new home. City officials say Golden Hall will be their new temporary shelter. They'll be taking in 150 women and children. The nonprofit will be closing down the shelter in order to break ground on a new affordable housing project that will be constructed on the existing East Village property. They plan to keep everyone at Golden Hall for about 3 months while the tent shelter is relocated. Homeless advocates are praising Mayor Kevin Faulconer's move to use a city facility to house them. City College is seeing a rise in the number of Latino students on campus in the fall 2018 census. This is compared to fall of 2015, with 49% of students identifying as Latino. The U.S. Department of Education has designated City College as a Hispanic-serving institution. The main focus of this designation is to further educate the growing Hispanic population on campus.
Filing your taxes doesn't have to be a hassle, and you can get them done on campus for free. Students volunteer as tax preparers to run the VITA program. It is open to both students and members of the surrounding community who make under $54,000 a year. The tax preparers help you fill out your paperwork and guide you through the online filing process. You can make an appointment by calling the Business Center here on campus, then going to room BT214 to file. This program is ongoing from now until April 16th, just after tax day.
And New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft has been charged with soliciting a prostitute. Police in Jupiter, Florida say Kraft was taped twice having sex with an employee at a local day spa. Police stressed he has not yet been arrested, but that a warrant will be issued. The charge is part of an investigation involving sex trafficking in Palm Beach County. A spokesperson for Kraft says he denies engaging in any illegal activity and will not comment further. And NBC7's longtime sports director Jim Laslovic is retiring after more than 3 decades of TV broadcasting. Prior to entering the world of broadcasting, Laslovic has played 10 years in the NFL for the Detroit Lions, San Diego Chargers, and Green Bay Packers. He briefly worked at channels 8 and 10 before joining NBC7.
There are a lot of things going on in the world of sports. Here's our very own Juan Gomez with all the latest sports news.
Thank you, Maris and Quinara. Let's start with the MLB. It has been quite an exciting week, especially here in San Diego. The Padres have come to an agreement with third baseman shortstop Manny Machado worth a record-setting of $300 million in 10 years. And the 26-year-old Machado is entering his 7th year as pro. He played last season for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who fell in the World Series to the Boston Red Sox. The Dominican is arguably one of the top players in the league, and Padres fans around the county are understandably excited. Manny was introduced by the team today. We hope he has a great season. And now moving on, San Diego has finally his pro football team. Again, it's been rough years. The Chargers left the city to move to LA, but now San Diego is home to the fleet from the new Alliance of America Football. Now, I know it's not the NFL, but the early AAF games have had impressive ratings. Some games have even turned better ratings than the NBA. Many ex-NFL players are also playing in the league. The Fleet plays its home games at SDCCU Stadium. If you'd like to support San Diego newest football, the Fleet is hosting the San Antonio Commanders this Sunday at 7 p.m. And now moving on to the Champions League. Let's get into it. Only 9 minutes in, Oblak saves Cristiano Ronaldo's free kick. Later on the second half, Diego Costa misses a super chance of getting ahead of the scoreboard. Then, on a corner play, Los Rojiblancos, Jose Jimenez scores in the 78th minute, giving them the lead with less than 8 minutes remaining. Another free kick by the French player Antoine Griezmann comes in play, giving chance to the center-back Godin to secure the victory 2-0 against the Vecchia Signora. In other actions, more amazing games were played in Europe. Liverpool and Bayern Munich's game was tied 0-0. Another tie by the French team Olympian Lyons versus FC Barcelona. And an exciting game between Manchester City and Schalke 04, finishing 3-2 in favor of the English club. And now moving on to the PGA Tour, we're headed to Mexico City, where the Mexico Golf Tournament is being played. With a great atmosphere and the top players in the world, it seems like it was a great weekend to play golf. Rory McIlroy had a great start on Thursday as he was leader at 8 under par. Right behind him, Dustin Johnson at 7 under. But surely the star of the week was Tiger Woods, who has been struggling, but the crowd doesn't mind. He has been followed all over the course. I'm sure everybody's hoping that Tiger plays his best golf this weekend. And to finalize, the City College basketball team has handed its second consecutive loss on Wednesday night. The Mesa College Olympian dominated the game, winning 81-58. The Knights are now tied in second place with the Olympians in the PCAC conference, both having records of 6-3 behind Southwestern College. The loss means City playoffs hopes are in jeopardy. The Knights will close the regular season tonight at 7 against Imperial Valley College. And guys, with that, I'm going to wrap up sports. Have a great weekend. back to you at the desk.
Now we're moving into entertainment with an update of Ariana Grande taking the top 3 spots in the billboards. Coming right up.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you're beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. The whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
In Florida, a statue portraying an iconic kiss at the end of the World War II has been vandalized. Vandals spray painted the statue a day after the sailor in the picture died. The spray paint reads #MeToo, symbolizing a movement advocating for women's rights and sexual assault victims. In the photo, the sailor grabs a woman dressed as a nurse and kisses her. Some critics say that the sailor sexually assaulted the woman in the iconic photo because she did not give her consent to the kiss. The spray paint has been since removed, but conflicting opinions remain.
The New York police is making the body camera footage public. To give more transparency to the department with their activities, the police union wants the footage to remain classified, calling it personal records. However, making it public can help everyone understand what happens, especially in shootings. And meanwhile, Mexican authorities are detaining 15 men after seizing almost 1,400 pounds of cocaine. The Mexican military launched an operation to capture the smuggler's speedboat after spotting it driving suspiciously off the coast of Sinaloa, Mexico. Sinaloa is home to the cartel led by convicted drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. The cartel is known for receiving drug shipments from South America and transporting them to the U.S.
The Venezuelan government is blocking a bridge connecting the country to much-needed humanitarian aid. Embattled President Nicolas Maduro is blocking the aid requested by opposition leader Juan Guaido. Citizens of the country are struggling to find what they need to survive, sparking daily protests against Maduro. Political tensions between Maduro and Guaido are worsening as the population becomes desperate for international aid to arrive. Fashion Month has started and it's already not looking good for a couple of brands. At the beginning of this month, Gucci released a turtleneck.
Venezuelans who say that people are suffering, people are not getting medical help, people are dying from not getting the right treatment for cancers and other things. A lot of people are malnourished, and so I felt it very important that nations and the world's population could do their best to contribute to try to resolving this problem.
Fashion Month has already started and it's not looking good for a couple of brands. At the beginning of the month, Gucci released a turtleneck sweater that resembles blackface, which they then removed after social media backlash. Katy Perry also removed 2 shoes from her shoe line, which also resembled blackface. Last Sunday at London Fashion Week, Burberry showcased a hoodie which featured a noose around the neck. Burberry stated that they have removed the hoodie from the collection after criticism from one of their models. The model stated that suicide isn't fashion and that it was a horrifying reminder of the history of lynching. And in the world of entertainment, Shauna Walker has more.
Actor and musician Jesse Smollett has been booked by Chicago police after originally declaring himself to be a victim of a hate crime.
29th, Smollett reported to police he had been attacked by 2 men wearing hoods. He claimed they had put a noose around his neck, poured an unidentified liquid on him, and yelled "Mega Country." Surveillance cameras captured 2 brothers of Nigerian roots in the area at the time Smollett said he was attacked. Police obtained a search warrant for their home, and inside they found an Empire script and evidence the men knew each other. They were arrested and said to have had a connection with the case. Since their arrest, the brothers have been cooperating with authorities. A Chicago prosecutor gives details regarding the allegations.
Smollett then drove the brothers home and provided them with a $3,500 personal check made payable to Abel, which was backdated to January 23rd of 2019.
Fox announced this morning that Jussie Smollett will not be in the last 2 episodes of Empire. And in breaking news, R. Kelly has been indicted on 10 counts of aggravated criminal assault abuse. Court records show that 9 of the 10 charges include victims between 13 and 16 years old. The 59-year-old R. Kelly is scheduled to appear for a bond hearing tomorrow. 39-year-old Rochelle Washington and 40-year-old Latressa Scaff hired attorney Gloria Allred to represent them. Allred is accusing R. Kelly of using his name to manipulate teenage fans. Attorney Michael Avenatti turned over tape to the state's attorney's office of R. Kelly having sexual relations with someone believed to be a 14-year-old girl. For 4 years underage, girls have made accusations against Kelly. In 2008, he was cleared of child pornography charges. And on a lighter note, Ariana Grande has had the best top 3 songs simultaneously on Billboard, the top 100s. It has been the first time since the Beatles did it in 1964. The 3 songs are 7 Rings, Break It With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored, and Thank You. She also broke the record for the most top 40 Billboard 100 hits by female artists. And that's all for entertainment. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for that, Shonda. Will the stormy weather impact our weekend plans? Find out more with Brian Moeller. Coming up with weather.
Daisy is 6 years old, and she is my very best friend. I couldn't live alone without her. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to the volunteers because they've all become my friends. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
We've had a lot of rain in San Diego lately. Let's find out what's coming up. Here's Brian Moeller with weather.
Rain, hail, and even snow. It's been some wild weather lately. This is LA, and we see rare snow falling. In Vegas, it snowed a couple times this week. And in Minnesota, there's been a snowmageddon this year. And this is DC, where pandas are playing in the snow. Now, if we look at the national forecast, we can see temperatures up toward Canada are really low. 7 degrees in Billings, 2 degrees in Bismarck, and that's actually increased temperatures. It's been averaging below 0 in that area this past month. If we could look at the regional or the national weather patterns here, you can see in the southeast area there's a big storm front going through that's causing flash flood warnings and possible tornadoes. If we can look at our region, we see in Arizona here that there's been record snowfalls in Flagstaff, and the Tucson airport even had to be closed down due to snowfall there. In our neck of the woods, It's still a little cold, but warming up. And if we could go to our daily forecast, it's great weather, sunny, and it looks like all that bad weather is behind us. If we look into next week, we can see mostly sunny days. And through the end of the week, inland, we got temperatures over 70 degrees. So we're moving into beach weather again. And if you look at the mountains, all that snow is probably going to melt this weekend. And the desert is looking into the 80s. And for the surf report, we're looking at a high risk of exposure from the water due to the rain. So stay out of the water for 72 hours, even though there'll be some decent waves. You might want to spend your time up at Big Bear, where they got 15 inches of snow over the last 48 hours. And I'll send it back over to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for that weather report. The iconic fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld sadly passed away Tuesday morning, and many people are wondering what's going to happen to his cat. Last year, Lagerfeld told Numero magazine that his cat, Choupette, will be one of the heirs to his $200 million fortune. Choupette already lives a lavish lifestyle. She has 2 personal maids, a driver, a bodyguard, and her own personal chef. She even has her own fortune of at least $3.4 million that she earned on her own from her ad campaigns. It is unclear on who will be looking over Choupette, but whoever does should give her the same love and attention as Lagerfeld has.
I wish I could live like half the life this poor cat is living. I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't have the owner anymore, but I mean, I'm never going to live a lifestyle that cool.
Well, I wonder if he even notices how good he has it.
He probably doesn't, but like, that's like a very privileged cat.
Very privileged.
All right, but that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Newscene. Tune in next week for all your local, national, and international news. I'm Marissa Gonzalez.
And I'm Kenyatta Rickmaiden, and we'll see you next time, folks.